Okay, we're on. Let's just grab this, tweet it out. Last week was pretty good. We got 20 views on the video. New record. All right, let's get into it. Let's get after it. Spreadsheet. First thing, I didn't forget. What more is there to say with a 10-4 week? I was nervous at first, but then the covers just started rolling in, especially with Monday. That was incredible. Plenty of notes to go over for this week, but let's go over last week. Missed the lock again. My locks stink 33%. The dog, we had Minnesota. Covering against Baltimore. And then we teased the Browns and Rams. Rams lost outright. Couldn't get that teaser done. It's okay. Still doing pretty well. 6-3 on the teasers. Not too bad. Let's update this formula. Because now we're going to have how many games? Why did it go white text? There it is. Just calculating. 150 after this week. So let's just go over week 9. Patriots, easy peasy. Lost that Thursday night. I said I hate saying it's too many points, but it was too many points. Who else? Cleveland over the Bengals. I had some good stats on that. The history of that matchup. Dallas, we got a couple injuries to Dallas. We're going to be monitoring them this week. Houston, Miami, and Buffalo, Jacksonville, just a bunch of stinkers. But got covers on both of those. Like I said, the dog of the week, the Vikings, Falcons, and the Saints. Falcons pulling it out outright. I was listening to Montante's World, and I believe that was his strongest pick. He doesn't pick against the spread too often. He's more of a prop guy. But I think he had that one at a pick'em early, had it at +6. Regardless, they get the outright win. Lock was the Raiders. I gave that one out publicly on Friday too. That was upsetting. Oh, no. This one was Chargers was Montante's lock. Excuse me. Yeah, that one, the line moved closer to kickoff. And I think it was down to a pick 'em at 1 point or 1.5, something like that. But winning by 3 when you get the line at 2.5, you'd love to see it. Arizona, we're not the Cardinals again. They're just rolling, and I said it last week. They might just be one of these teams that they're going to get these bigger spreads, and we're going to see that with week 10 here. They're just going to keep getting these bigger spreads, and you just can't be scared of the big number. I think they're just a cover machine. Who else we got? Rodgers didn't play. That line jumped a bunch, went over it. I think I said it was up to 6. So you could have gotten a push there. Just depends on where you got that Kansas City line. But they pulled it off and lost with the Rams. Went to bed early when I saw the cover wasn't going to come through. And then an electric ending to Monday Night Football. Got the cover with the Bears +6.5. let's get into week 10. As always, we start with the Patriots. I've been monitoring Nick Chubb. He's on the COVID list. He is vaccinated. So, unlike Aaron Rodgers, if he produces two negative tests 24 hours apart by Sunday, I believe he's good to go. They're making plans without him. Kareem Hunt also not playing. Just to compare these two teams, because we got, I'm picking the Patriots -1.5. Patriots, one more point per game on average. They allow one more point per game compared to the Browns. They lead 46-64 in penalties. Patriots, a much more disciplined team. That's 444 yards to 602. They trail in turnovers. This is tough, 12-8. But you know what? I did some digging. The Browns haven't won this matchup since November 7th, 2010. And the last time they won before that was November 12th in the year 2000. So historically, the Patriots dominate this matchup. Prior years don't really have that much of an effect. It's just a very interesting trend. And maybe the Browns cover here, but they haven't won this matchup in over 10 years, and it was 10 years before that. Moving on to Baltimore and Miami. I didn't color this, did I? Thursday night matchup. Ravens laying 7.5 on the road with Miami. Here's another one. Miami reportedly preparing as if Jacoby Brissett will start. Historically, the Ravens dominate this matchup. 2019 they played, it was 59-10. 2017, Raiders shut them out 40-0. 2016, they faced off a third time, 38-6. They gain over 100 more yards per game than the Dolphins. They score 9 more points per game. They allow 6 fewer points per game and 20 yards per game fewer. They also lead the turnover battle 8-13 and 40-54 penalties. I like the trend here. Ravens want to beat up on this team. We never lose to the Dolphins, stuff like that going around the locker room. I like the Ravens -7.5. Atlanta and the Cowboys, historically a close matchup. 2020, 1-point game, 39-40. 2018, 22-19. 2017, the Falcons won 27-7. Now we're getting into some of the better Falcons teams. 2015, the Falcons won 39-28. And 2012, the Falcons won 19-13. You got to go back to 2009 to find the last time the Cowboys covered this matchup. What I meant by historically a close matchup, you'd think that the Cowboys would be hanging in there, but around that 2015 time period, the Falcons had a stellar team. I had one other thing. Oh, for the Cowboys, there's rumors that Greg Zuerlein won't be playing. He's also on the COVID list. I couldn't find. This is really freaking creepy, but it plays into fantasy stuff and picking the game, looking to see if he's vaccinated so that we could figure out can he play? Is he definitely out? But there's rumors that they're going to be using a backup kicker, Zuerlein, with COVID-19. Buffalo and the Jets, there's a lot of memes and stuff going on around the internet, joking about how every team gets 1 bye week, but the Bills, they get 4 bye weeks because they have a little stretch. Last week facing the Jags, this week the Jets. Who do they have in week 7? 7 was their bye. I think they might play like the Texans next week, somebody bad. But this 13 doesn't scare me. Just coming off of a game where they couldn't get anything done. They double the Jets in points per game, just shy of 100 more yards per game. They have HALVE, the Jets in points allowed per game. So twice as efficient on that. 120 fewer yards per game allowed, and they lead the turnover battle 5-15. Don't be scared of the 13. I like the Bills on the road. Tampa Bay and Washington. This one just seems, I don't have a ton of like great analysis. I wrote 48 degrees at kickoff. Suspiciously close line because these teams in stats are pretty even for a lot of stuff. Washington 47-48 in penalties. It's that close. I like the 9.5 home dog. Saints going to the Titans. I saw an article that the Titans have the best pass rush in the NFL right now. I think that's all just a ruse to get people on Tennessee. I know I sound paranoid, but I just don't buy into that stuff. Titans average 10 yards per penalty. They are losing that penalty battle 55-39. Titans very disciplined. Titans average 3 more points per game, but allow 6 more points per game. Give me the Saints plus the points. Colts at home. Number one reason I'm picking this game, and it's going to have a lot of people on this side. Normally I want to go the other way, but I love this. Carson Wentz on record said that if his wife goes into labor on Sunday, he's going to be playing. He will miss the birth of his child to play this game against Jacksonville. Teams are actually even in yards per game. They traditionally play twice a season. This is something to look out for week 17. Week 18. Typically see these teams face off twice every year that they play each other. It's almost always a split series. So the Jags won both of them in 2017. All other series through 2015 have been split. So, I'm going with the Colts on this one just because of that Carson Wentz quote. But if I'm wrong here, I like the Colts in the rematch later this season and vice versa. If I'm right here with the Colts, we're going to take the Jags next time. I was looking at these trends. The Lions haven't beaten the Steelers since 1998. Dead even in points per game and yards per game. The Lions allow 8 more points per game and 40 more opponents' yards. Penalties and penalty yards were both even or negligible. Detroit coming off a bye. Week 8, they got smoked. Covered in week 7. Missed the cover in week 6. I think they miss again. People are going to be looking for Detroit to cover with that 9.5 off a bye. I've said this for weeks in a row now. It's going into the bye where teams will cover more of their a better percentage of their games off a bye. Not the best. Not a lot of analysis on these Cardinals games. They're at home against the Panthers, laying 10. I say it all the time. We jumped off once and we were wrong. And then we rode the Cards the rest of the way. They didn't cover one time. So it's just a plus EV play. Maybe towards the end of the season, like they start not covering games and regression to the mean. They but right now as it stands, they've covered all but one game. And we missed a cover that other time. So I'm just going to ride them. Carolina signed Matt Barkley yesterday. PJ Walker was their only other option other than that because Sam Darnold out with a fractured scapula. PJ Walker hasn't gotten in too much, completed 20% of his passes for just 30 yards. Trying to monitor the Kyler news. Colt McCoy would back him up if he's not playing, but he and Hopkins both listed as day-to-day as of today, Wednesday. So I don't know. That burned me in my fantasy league. Nobody cares about your fantasy team, but I wasn't on top of getting a replacement for Kyler, and it costs. Chargers at home against the Vikings, laying 2.5. Vikings just had guard Dakota Dozier go to the hospital. He's got like pneumonia. Mike Zimmer, I love the guy, OG Chaw Dog, but he was pretty vague on if it was COVID. I mean, the article said COVID-related pneumonia, but that was not the quote from Zim. Two very even teams on paper here, Vikings and Chargers, that is. Yards per game and points per game, both even. Vikings allow 1 fewer point per game and 20 more yards per game. Just like the Chargers here at home, 2.5. Philly on the road with Denver. Broncos put guard Graham Glasgow on IR yesterday. Broke his leg in the game last week. Eagles, 5 more points per game, allow 7 more points per game. Broncos are off next week. Kind of like the home favorite, but I am going with the Eagles. Just seems like a weird spot. Who we got? Seahawks heading to the Packers. Don't know if Rodgers is going to be playing. If he's, I'm not positive on the window there. Very disciplined teams. Seattle 4-6 on the turnovers. 41-29. They trail in penalties. Excuse me. That's for 333 yards to the Packers 292. I'm going with the Seahawks. Road dog. Chiefs heading to the Raiders for Sunday night. Chiefs 19-8 in turnovers. Both teams near the top of the league with penalties. Chiefs trail the Raiders in penalties 56-59 so far. And that's for 466 to a whopping 530 penalty yards for the Raiders. Just like the Chiefs on the road, I think they're due to start covering. Hang on a second. I can hear them just like opening the door just a little bit, like open it all the way or don't. So I just like the Chiefs on the road, laying the points. Rams heading to the Niners. This one looks fishy with a small number. Rams are heading into a bye, so we won't be taking the Broncos heading into their bye week 11, but we'll take the second team, the Rams. Couple notes that I had. Rams wide receiver Jacob Harris out rest of the season for ACL and MCL injuries. Only played 15 snaps, but he got in every game on special teams. On the other side of the ball, the Niners, right tackle Mike McGlinchey out the rest of the season with a torn quad. And I just saw this today. Mohamed Sanu, who stinks, is out with a knee sprain, and Tavon Wilson will miss time per Kyle Shanahan. Wilson with a foot injury. Just a little fantasy tip if you like. Look to pick up Jawan Jennings and Trent Sherfield in their absence. Let's pick out a Lock Dog Tease. Color this Monday night. Google Sheets has a different color palette. Okay. I feel really strong about the Steelers. Home against the Lions. Lions haven't won since 1998. That doesn't say anything for the cover, but I mean, just as historic domination, I got to go with the Steelers with our lock. Lick. All right, dog of the week. I'm going to go Falcons plus the 9 on the road for our dog of the week. And teasing. I sure do like the football team plus 6 onto that. We'll take the football team up to 15.5. And see, you take the Bills down and it's still at 7. That doesn't do much for me. Saints looks good. And I've discussed it before. It's called a Wong teaser, W-O-N-G. If you can tease games inside 2.5, it's a plus EV play. So that means you're going to, like with this 2.5, we would cross 3, 3.5. We're going to cross 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5. A lot of key numbers there. Ooh. And I've said before, I don't like taking teams down through 0 is a minus EV play because you're going to lose value on the halves and then on 0, it being a pick 'em. So, oh man. So the Saints look really good. The Cards look really good. And I don't want to use the Falcons in a dog and the teaser. Seattle up to 10.5 looks awesome. But I'm going to do the Cardinals down to 4. All right, lock of the week. Steelers at home laying 9.5 against the Lions. Our dog of the week, Falcons on the road against the Cowboys, catching 9. And we're going to tease the football team up to 15.5. Juicy. And we're going to take the Cardinals down to -4. Usual announcements. I'll be back on again next week, same time, same place. Wednesday, right here on YouTube. Channels Hit the Post. Profit picks at 6. So we capture the entire week. We'll recap week 10, hopefully, because we've had 9 consecutive, not winning weeks, but not losing weeks. We did have one week at 8-8 for 50%. Hopefully we can continue that streak with week 10. We'll recap and go over week 11. Just a friendly FYI, the Excel sheet is really hard to read when watching on your phone. So watch on your computer. I don't have any problem watching it on my computer. Make it full screen. I can still see. Other than that, Friday, going to be on my Mixcloud channel, mixcloud.com/hitthepost. You can also go to hitthepost.live. It'll take you to the same place. Friday night, 8 p.m. I've been challenged to do the longest stream to date. And so that would be 94 minutes plus. I've accepted the challenge. Just going to play an hour's worth of music, or an hour and a half, hour 34 of music, and hit the post to as many songs as I can. That's going to do it. As always, please gamble responsibly. Thanks again for tuning in.